Listen to what Jesus says here. And as you wish men to do to you, do so to them. Okay? Kind of expected that. If you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that? For even sinners do the same. And if you lend to those from whom you expect to receive, what credit is that? Even sinners lend to sinners to receive as much again. But love your enemies. Love your enemies. Oh my goodness. Do good and lend expecting nothing in return. All right, well, I guess we can all go home now. Oh, no. Oh, love your enemies. Lend, not expecting to get it back? Really? Are you serious, Jesus? Is this really what you expect? I mean, yeah, I can understand, right? Treat other people the way you want them to treat you. Basic enlightenment, utilitarianism, right? I do good so that it's good for me. That makes sense. But love your enemies? Do good to those who are bad to you? Lend without expecting anything in return? Right? And then he says something about that. He says, if you do this, your reward in heaven will be great because you will be sons of the Most High. What? Do you want to become a child of God? Do you want to know what a child of God looks like? A child of God is someone who loves her enemies. A child of God is someone who does good and lends, expecting nothing in return. Why are you a child of God? Because you're doing what God does. The passage ends with, you will be sons or children of the Most High, for He is kind to the ungrateful. He is kind to the ungrateful. You know, sometimes we think, I can be kind, but they better be grateful, right? Or, I can forgive, but they better be repentant. Or, I can be merciful, but they better recognize how far backwards I'm bending down for them. But God's different from that. That's not how God is. God is merciful, or what does it say? Kind to the ungrateful. And wait, there's more. He's kind to the ungrateful and selfish. God is kind to the ungrateful and selfish. Well, I can't be nice to him. He's selfish. Right? I can't lend her money. She won't pay me back. But this is how God treats us. How many here can pay God back? Right? Nobody can pay God back. Right? How many here are as grateful to God as we could be? We hardly scratch the surface. But God is kind to us and merciful. Now, I freely admit that loving your enemies is a pretty high bar, right? It's a really hard bar. So that's why we have confession. The next time you think, well, I should go to confession, but I can't think of anything to confess. Why don't you start with, I don't love my enemies. I'm not kind to ungrateful people. If I lend something to somebody, I expect to get it back. These are all sins that you can confess. You have something to confess every single time, right? You don't have to think, did I rob a bank, right? I didn't murder anybody. I wanted to, but I didn't. That should be in my credit, right? Right? No. The bar is set really high. So I'd like to suggest, as a way of at least taking a step in the right direction, let's just confess that we don't love our enemies. You know, Lord, forgive me, I don't love my enemies. And let's start the struggle with loving those who annoy us. Right? We can just start there. Right? Let's start with, instead of, okay, it's too big for me to love my enemies, God. I confess that's sin. I can't love my enemies. I'm really bad at that. Forgive me. But help me, give me grace to love those who annoy me. Right? We'll lower the bar down a little bit. And let's struggle there. Right? Because part of the problem with loving your enemy is that a lot of us don't think we have any enemies. We're kind of blind to the darkness in our own heart. But I bet every single person in this room, right this minute, can think of more than 3 people who either often or occasionally annoy them. And that's someone you can love. That's someone you can be kind to. Be kind to the one who annoys you. Be kind. Be merciful to the one who annoys you. Ooh, lend. Lend to the one who annoys you. Right? And at least then you're saying, God, I can't do this. But at least what little I have, what little I can do, I offer to you. Like the widow with the 2 mites, right? I don't have thousands of dollars to give you, God, but I do have 50 cents. So I'll struggle to give my 50 cents to you. I'll just struggle at this point to love those who annoy me. And maybe by your grace, you'll teach me how to even one day love my enemies. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.